Tamar, and I'm the founder of Women in Block, and also Top of Blockchain. The purpose of this organization, Women in Block, is to encourage women leadership in executive roles in the blockchain industry, which is an emerging industry by nature. And as every emerging industry, it gives opportunities for growth that are very abundant and quick as well. So if we can now generate a participation of women in this industry, I believe that within a few years we're going to lead. So that's the purpose of this organization, to share knowledge, to share opportunities with each other, to become experts as much as we can, and to lead the blockchain and crypto industry in the future. So now I'd love to invite Sharon Zaleski from EY, and she is the partner for the blockchain industry and crypto industry, and we'll talk to her about the new trends.
So hi, good morning everyone. It's great to be here. I've attended a lot of blockchain, ICO type seminars and sessions, and it's very refreshing to see so many women in the same room together, and it gives me strength and is inspiring. So thank you, because we definitely need more diversity in this industry. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes that I've been allocated to talk a little bit about blockchain and the Industrial Revolution as the way we see it in EY. I'm a partner in the high-tech practice here in EY Israel, and I'm also the ICO leader. And I'm also part of the team globally. Here in Tel Aviv, we have a blockchain hub that does research and projects for EY on a global level. What we're seeing right now is, there's been several what you call industrial revolutions. We are in the industrial revolution of 4.0, where there are several digital technology trends and that we are living in the last couple of years, and we will be changing our life in the next couple of decades. Anything from autonomous cars to robotics to AI to IoT, and of course blockchain is definitely up there. So the way EY is a big believer in blockchain. Have invested a lot of resources and money in understanding this industry, and as we are big providers of trust to enterprises in the world, we need to be able to find those solutions for blockchain as well. So we do believe that blockchain will do for networks of enterprises and business ecosystems what the ERP did for a single company back then. So why are business enterprises so excited about blockchain? We live in what's called an uncertain world with lack of trust with many parties, and of course the value proposition of doing business on a blockchain will enable us to, one, enforce contracts with a smart contract rather than do things on a manual basis. Two, better asset tracking and transparency, specifically companies that have very complex supply chain management. And of course, cutting out third parties that are unnecessary, middlemen and commissions and time efficiency. But what is interesting is that we still see that in this industry, enterprises that are adopting blockchain use cases, they're still not going public, into public networks. And the reason being is, and it was already mentioned previously, that companies don't feel comfortable they can conduct transactions on a private and secure manner on a public network. And I think Shelley said that, and it's true. The blockchain industry is very initial. There's a lot of work that needs to be done there in the infrastructure for us to be able to really rely on the blockchain. Every person here in the room is an average user, use it on a public level and feel comfortable. So there are amazing technology enablers, infrastructure protocols being developed now, zero knowledge proof, ways to make the smart contracts more auditable with regulatory features. So there's a lot going on in that space, and a lot of R&D that we are doing in EY, and we're seeing several startups, particularly the Israeli ones, working on. So just a little bit about for blockchains to be something that we will rely on trust on. We, for example, have been developing a lot of assurance tools to be able to verify KYC AML procedures, to be able to audit smart contracts, both the security of that digital contract and the functionality. There have been a lot of fraud and issues and errors with smart contracts in the last 2 years. And just like any other business, you need processes, you need controls. The fact that the blockchain is an immutable network doesn't mean that you don't need a whole process of controls and assurance around it. And that's something that we have already developed a lot of tools and are excited to be the first ones in the market with a lot of these tools. So what I want to spend the next couple of minutes talking about, I know that generally when we speak about blockchain, we see that in financing and banking, in that industry, it's kind of the intuitive use case. But there are several use cases and cross-industry sectors that are interested in the use cases of blockchain, and many of them are clients that are coming to us and saying, we want to learn more about how this can improve our business. So we've seen everything from pharmaceutical and healthcare, where, as you can imagine, in pharmaceutical companies, the supply chain process is very complicated, where you've got safety, you've got security, you've got privacy, over various jurisdictions, so it's a way to manage that on a more cost-efficient basis. More traditional industries like art and diamonds, one of our clients that was mentioned, the carrots, whereby you will be able to verify the authenticity of underlying assets through management of the blockchain, which is very useful, and even governments that are thinking of doing a voting system that's decentralized. So it's exciting to see all the industries really chiming into this technology. I'm going to go through two cases that EY is actually providing kind of end-to-end solutions to our clients. So wine, what does wine have to do with blockchain? We have a client, a boutique winery in Italy, where they've had a lot of issues with what's called the business of fake wines. By the way, that's like a $3 billion business, where there's forging wines by putting the labeling and customers not getting the product that was actually what they intended to buy. So the way they wanted to solve this problem is basically came to EY to develop an end-to-end blockchain solution which will help them manage supply management from when the bottles come out of the winery to the trucks, to the distributors, to the customers. So what happens is if a customer holds a bottle of wine, they've got a barcode on it, whereby they can, through blockchain database, see the authenticity of that bottle, which is pretty amazing and gives the customer a feeling that they know the value of the asset they're holding. And secondly, for the company itself, they have a much better insight on what's happening in the gray market and distributional channels. In addition, they finally have a kind of direct relationship with their customers, because a lot of times when these bottles are being sold through distributors, etc., they don't know where they're located. So it also helps with marketing and business development as well. Another use case that we're very, very excited about is that EY has launched together with Microsoft a solution for content rights and royalty management in the media industry, and I'll be more specific. For example, the gaming industry today, when Xbox, a developer of a game, there's authors and there's people that are providing content and distributors and various participants in the supply chain of providing a license that are supposed to derive royalties from the sale of that IP or that license. Today, the way that these royalty contracts with the participants in the supply chain are managed is all done manually. It's a manual reconciliation of 45 to 90 days, where you have millions of transactions of use of licenses, and it's billions of dollars of royalties being paid. So basically, the solution right now is a blockchain solution where you've got embedded smart contracts, where each smart contract defines the royalty agreement, and the calculations are done automatically. So what took 45 to 90 days to take takes about 4 minutes to process, which really is a game changer in this industry, because one, it provides transparency for participants that are supposed to derive royalties, whereby they know, almost done, royalties where they know where the money is coming from. Two, they get real-time information about where the sales are and where the market needs are so that they can adjust accordingly. And three, it's a very cost-efficient process. So this is a use case that we're hoping to use it in various industries like oil and gas and other industries where there's a lot of participation and royalty rights, etc. So that's just to give you on a very high-level overview, a couple of examples of what's going on in the industry and will impact our day-to-day lives as well. So again, thank you very much for your time. Oops, this was my last slide. I'll be happy to take questions. I know we don't have time now, but later on I'll be here. Go ahead.
Is it running with Ethereum? The licensing fee?
Currently, it's running on Quorum and the Microsoft Azure infrastructure. I think that at this point it's being tested by the biggest game publisher of Microsoft, which is, I believe their name is XVSoft. But I'm not sure about that. I can check for you.
Quorum is blockchain?
Yes. Very good. Thank you so much.